I didn't burn down any buildings that I know of, but I did participate in thievery at the young age of around 8 or so. My memory is a bit shoddy on the specifics there. What did I steal? You're all likely not wondering. Money. It was from this action and the consequences that followed that something in the core of my being changed. By participating in a sin, I gained the virtue. At the time, I didn't know what a charity box truly was. I just saw this enticing, exciting box of money waiting to be obliterated like a piggy bank in those movies we all secretly love but will never admit. All I knew at that time that with money, you could exchange it for something that you wanted. A toy, something fluffy, or something sugary. Whatever floats your boat. I did not do this once, not twice, but thrice. It was that third time I got caught. It was that time that something changed and developed into a behavior I didn't notice for many years. There was an absence of something. All right, I'm going to do a little arm exercise here. Please put your hand up if you believe that you are self-aware. Let's see some hands, please. Please, pretty please. Thank you. I hope you're wearing deodorant. If not, sorry to the person sitting next to you. Now, here's a little fun thing. A lady called Tasha, last name I can't pronounce, her face will be around here somewhere, we can ask one of the people, said that 95% of people who believe they're self-aware actually aren't. So, to those of you who didn't put your arms up, you're very possibly part of that 10 to 15% who believe you're not, but could very well be. I've pulled this rug out from under all of you by making you all aware of this fact. It's quite the verbal rabbit hole, that. Tasha kindly gave us 3 reasons as to why that is. The first being is that we're all sort of going around with horse blinders on, which you can actually buy on the internet for your friends or co-workers or something. And to anyone who does, I would love to see a photo. Now, what she meant is that we're all going around on autopilot. We drag ourselves out of bed reluctantly. We crawl to the bathroom, open the floodgates to the ceramic maw of an ever-starved white beast. We brush our teeth, get dressed, and go to work, or do what I would do, and go back to bed. Through repetition, you slowly become less aware of the actions that you're taking. The next that she provides is called the feel-good effect. We have collectively grown very dependent on dopamine, the happy drug in our brain. When people see us in a positive light, or they speak about us positively, it gives us that fix that we yearn to have again. Nice hair. And thanks to social media, we have grown even more dependent, where the number of people following your page thingy or the number of likes on a photo can be a lot of what matters to you. We all love to feel good, but there are those times of negative emotions that do need to be embraced just as much. Anger, sorrow, the odd ugly cry. These things are just as imperative for your life and help you learn more about yourself. Her next is called the cult of self, and I find that name a little funny, because that's what all cults are, really, isn't it? There's some manipulative douchebag who gathers a load of vulnerable sheeple, like some decrepit sheepdog with mange, to stroke their own ego and achieve whatever stupid goal they've decided to pursue. Also, thanks to social media, people have learned to bend their backs backwards. I'm not going to do it here. I like my spine being intact. And to dip their noses into some foul self-absorption. When you believe that the entire world revolves around you, you tend to shut out everything else. If you think about it, solar system-wise, that kind of makes those people believe that they're our sun, which no one can bear to look at without grimacing, judging, or wishing blindness. Next is what my coach and I put together. He's over there. Now, I have the next arm exercise. Ooh. please put your hands up if you believe that you are a good person. I hope to see more hands here, or I have many questions. Good, that's very, very lovely. If you believe that you are a good person, then that's great. However, how often are you checking for when you've done something bad? As I say, you're all bad, except to those who didn't put your hands up. That's not to say you're all bad, not at all. Humans by nature can be hypocrites. But how often are you checking your actions daily? Think for a moment that you are a great painter. You're the next Michelangelo, the next Van Gogh, God's gift to the art world. You very well might be. I don't know what you do in your free time. But by wholeheartedly believing that you are the greatest thing to happen since paint, well, you might not see your own flaws. The same can be said for people, because how can we be better than we already are? By wholeheartedly believing that kind of mindset can develop into entitlement and into most of the fake stories on the internet about said people. I don't know, I've contributed a bit. The next is based on a phrase I expect we should all be familiar with by now. Ignorance is bliss. And while, yeah, it can certainly be blissful, that kind of frame of mind is spreading a disease that's killing more people than the Black Plague ever did. Apathy. Some people, when they come across a conundrum of some kind, will decide to ignore it, because someone's bound to come along and fix it for them. And strangely, when someone does fix a problem for us, we're usually not very happy about that. There are many reasons as to why this is, just one being that we are extremely complicated individuals, some different in major ways, some in minor. But I don't know. And while I do hope that what I provide you today will help you in some way, I won't know. To some of the people here today, I am spouting nonsense. To others, I'm saying something quite profound. And to the rest, you're here for the copy. But I won't know, because no two eyes see the world the same way. It's quite a beautiful thing. And if you think about it, we all have two pairs of eyes, one that's internal and one pair that's external, I hope. But with the aid of self-awareness, they can both be focused and honed on the same thing. It gives four eyes a whole new meaning. Speaking of different perspectives, I'd like to point to a particular group as an example as to how, say, a learning disability can alter one's perception and self-awareness. For this, I'll use ASD, better known as autism or Asperger's. Thanks to an article that we found, they provided 4 points as to how autism can alter one's self-awareness. Bear with me, the article is a bit of a wordy one in terms of names. Understanding the self with individuals with ASD. Nailed it. Number 1, we don't know what we don't know. The trouble is regarding our sense of self, and it can be harder for us to learn things such as self-awareness. Number 2, we can face trouble discerning what is ours and what is others' emotions in social and emotional situations. Number 3, we can observe some kind of activity and we might not know how to participate. Number 4, we can face challenges revolving around the thoughts and feelings of ourselves and of others. Imagine for a moment that you're not quite sure where you are. You're not quite sure why, say, they like strawberry ice cream and you like cranberry, which is disgusting. You're not quite sure how to join, say, some kind of group activity or not understand it. For me, I have no idea what football is. You kick a ball into a net and hurrah. But I'm not just talking to you all today about perspectives. It is about self-awareness. It's about giving you the chance to peek through a different lens, to catch a glimpse through the eyes of another, and have a strange inner third-party perspective of yourself. There's a saying akin to this: walk a mile in the shoes of another, or something of that ilk. The thing about that is, most of the time, you're not going to fit someone else's shoes. I'd say try with the person sitting next to you, but I don't want to stick up the building. Also, at least to me anyway, it implies that you're a mile away from the original owner, probably in some very nice shoes, and can leg it home. Speaking of being a mile away from the origin, I shall DeLorean us back to the epic start regarding the charity box. So, prior to hop and skip down this yellow brick road, I was talking about a charity box and how there was a void in my thought process revolving around it. To understand it further, I shall now explain the series of unfortunate events that took place. So, the 8-year-old me saw this big box on the counter. My mum was in a meeting in the back, so it was completely empty, just me. I walked up to this box, slid in my weirdly thin fingers through the slot, snagged a coin and guided it up the side and took it out. It was clear, so I could see what I was doing. And Mum believed that I just found this pound, because we've all lost a pound every now and again. Because it worked so well the first time, I did it again. This time I took £2, maybe £2.50. But it was that third time. That time I got greedy. I am regretful to admit that I had taken £8 altogether. Because the first 2 times worked out so well, I didn't think that I'd get in trouble for it. But obviously, I did, because no parent would ignore that their child had magically found £8 just laying about, unless a leprechaun was near. So as she is a child of the rainbow, that could have at least been a very poor excuse. It was not being reprimanded, or having some dude talk to me about a bus, or having that money taken away from me that changed something. It was the feeling of being a horrible person that pushed my development into who stands before you today. After I learned what a charity box was for and what it meant, I felt atrocious, as I very well should have. I learned that you take your own money, you put it in that box to help someone from across the world for no other reason than wanting to and expecting nothing in return. It's kind of like organ donation, only you're definitely not getting something back. But that resonated with me, because wouldn't we all like someone to just give us a hand without expecting anything in return? Just 50p can change someone's life for the better, or taking that 50p away can change their life for the not so better. And there's also stealing. As an example, as to how 50p can change one's life, in Colombia, 50p is 1/2 hour's work at minimum wage. So, if everyone here donated 50p or more, if they're feeling generous, imagine receiving 2 weeks worth of pay from people across the world for no other reason than wanting to. When I'm down the road from my house, and I'm buying things, further me on the road to inevitable diabetes, I always leave whatever change I have left to charity. At the start, they'd always give some back because I'd given too much. Now, they don't even ask, they just take it, and I find it quite touching, honestly. Or that means they just want me to leave. The last arm exercise for everyone here today. Please put your hands up if you believe you're not a horrible person. I hope to see many hands here. Lovely, you may lower them. I lied, and I'm not going to apologize. There's a part 2. Please put your hand up if you believe you have the best intentions. It's a bit of a tricky one here. Lovely, lovely. You can lower them. Don't worry, there's no part 3. This is not The Godfather. I want, if anything, to leave you with a quote that I've slightly altered. Something for you to take home and really keep to yourself. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, while being walked upon by those of bad. Thank you very much, everyone.